How do you see this playing out the next couple of years? They brought in these executives. They want to change the perception, make people think that it's easier to get to the stadium. The stadium experience is better, but the team is still mediocre. Yeah. It seems like that's the toughest battle, that winning is the best antidote. But can they kind of change things on the edges before the team starts winning?
Well, you can, certainly. I mean, we've all known for years, putting aside play on the field, the experience of going to that stadium is a good one. The traffic in and out is terrible, and just park anywhere near the stadium. And I don't know if you guys experience this, but when you go to M&T Bank Stadium for a Ravens game, the people there are clearly go out of the way to.
We're struggling with your cell phone there.
Hold on for a second, John. See if you can call him back.
To reconnect. I don't know exactly where he was going with the M&T. I've been to one Ravens game. We went there with the Gov, and
when you go there, it's 75,000 Ravens fans.
And going in and out was pretty easy.
It's easy,
very accessible.
Yeah,
it's easy to go in and out.
Like boom, you're on 95.
Yeah, but that's the location.
Yep.
But also the fans are like the real Ravens fans.
Sure.
You know, a bunch of hillbillies. They all look like Valdez.
Bunch of camo pants.
So many camo pants.
Purple
Is
camo
that still
pants.
really a popular thing?
Oh, yeah.
That hasn't faded over the last few years?
In Baltimore it is, Gage. Go ahead, John. You were making...
He's wearing a camo hat again. Like
I know. Look who's
but it's not
talking about camo.
It's not purple, black, and gray.
Thank you. John, you were making your point about the M&T experience.
Yeah, I think there aren't that many cell towers in Kentucky, I don't think.
Yeah.
But when you go to M&T Bank Stadium, clearly the people who work there are instructed to go out of their way to be polite, to be nice, to welcome you. That was never the case at FedEx Field. And maybe now they're realizing that you should do those little things, that those little things can help when the team isn't that good. Now, the bottom line is always going to be how good is the team. If the team wins, the stadium will sell out again. People will jump back on the bandwagon. People will not dislike Dan Snyder as much as they dislike him now. But when you're not good, it's the old thing. It's the old thing Bob Knight said to me years and years ago. That he said, "I know as long as I win, Indiana fans will say I'm eccentric. If I stop winning, they'll say I'm an embarrassment." Is that true throughout sports? If you win, people will forgive you your sins. I mean, look at Urban Meyer at Ohio State, crying out loud. If he wasn't 73-8 when all this broke out, he'd have been fired. But and the same is true with Snyder's team, because he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt from anybody because he's never been nice to anybody.
Yeah, but I think people already...
And it's an unpleasant stadium experience, as you said.
No, and it's all true, but I think that people will still... I think it's too baked in. They're always going to hate Snyder as long as he's associated with the team, even when they're winning.
If the team wins, they'll come back.
But the team wins, they'll come back. They did in 2012.
The thing that struck me, though, John, is watching the game last night between the Browns win with Baker Mayfield, and sure, Baker is exciting. The Brown Stadium looked packed to me. And that's a team that has suffered and lost as much as anybody.
First two games are sellouts. First two games are sellouts, according to Drab.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think Mayfield has given them some hope. I think maybe the Hard Knocks thing helped them somewhat.
Yeah.
Because they came across well. Hugh Jackson came across well. Mayfield came across, I thought, very well. And maybe that helped them a little bit. Also, the Browns have a different fan base than Washington. Washington has always been a winner's town. You know, look, everybody's in love with the Capitals now because they won the Stanley Cup. But and that's the kind of sports town Washington is. The Midwest tends to be different. The fans in Cleveland, the fans in Pittsburgh. You look at the fans with the Cubs all those years when they were terrible. They still sold out Wrigley most of the time. Fans of the Bears. It's a different mentality. But also, there is no reason to feel negatively towards the people running the Browns other than the win-loss record. Here, that's not the case.
Well, I don't think Jimmy Haslam is so lovable.
No, but he's not. But I think that he has not. I know, again, from going to the stadium there, that the stadium experience in Washington. It's in the city park. The traffic isn't nearly as bad. So I think that helps too. But also, the Browns fans have been famous for years for the fact that they come out and go crazy for their team no matter how bad they are. And the last 2 years are certainly proof of that.
Right.
They had, when they played the Ravens last year, second to last game of the season, because I looked this up when I was researching a quarterback book, I think they drew 62,000 when they were 0-14.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.